Hello and welcome to the weekendpaper.blogspot.com. I'm Daniel Jones and you're watching one of my Game of the Year videos. This one about Wolfenstein: A New Order from Machine Games and Bethesda. This is easily one of the best shooters I've played in recent years. Only rivaled by Far Cry 3 and 4. And as far as just straight up shooters goes, Wolfenstein just floored me because I'm not a huge fan of the franchise. I mean, I haven't played many of them. Never played the first one. Loved Doom, but never really played Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein 3D, that is. And never really played much of the other ones. Played a little bit of the Raven one from a few years ago, and the franchise just never really caught on with me. And really, I mean, it's never really caught on with much of the gaming public. But this one took such a different approach to not only first-person shooters, but to storytelling in first-person shooters. I mean, it does this weird thing that is very Tarantino-esque in both the gameplay and in the story, and in that it mixes this really violent tale with a really emotional, affecting story. And I mean, you can see this scene right here. This family's just been torn apart by the Nazis, and that woman just goes to town on that Nazi soldier, and it's a very small moment, but it really sets a tone that this was a real war. This really happened, and they're going to be respectful to that. This is early on in the game, and so they let you know they're going to be respectful to that, but at the same time, this is Pulp Fiction. And it's about what would happen if the Nazis took over and won the war. Got the atom bomb before the Americans, and won World War II. And it's 1960, and the Nazis rule the world, basically. And they're explaining that in this cutscene, which, by the way, just watch this cutscene. It's exquisitely directed. I mean, whoever directed this game did a phenomenal job. But I can't only just talk about the story, because the story is really good. It walks the fine line of over the top violence and emotion and drama, with some humor. It's a little bit James Bond, a little bit Indiana Jones, and a little bit Inglourious Bastards. It's a little bit of everything. I can't say enough great things about the story, but I need to talk about the gameplay, because you don't see a lot of the gameplay in this clip that I'm showing, but you need to know that the gameplay in Wolfenstein is some of the best shooter gameplay I've played in a while. Destiny has amazing shooter gameplay, but for my money, Wolfenstein is just one of the best handling shooters in a long time. It feels like the classics. It feels like Doom felt back in the day. It feels like Quake. A lot of times, I mean, the frame rate stays up, the action is quick and fast, bullets are flying all over the place, but you always feel like you're in complete control. It's very responsive. It snaps to, it takes a lot of cues from Call of Duty, but in my opinion, adds in the heft and weight of something like Quake. And I just have had a blast playing this game. It's lengthy as well. It's about 20 hours, at least. to play the campaign, and it's just a single player campaign. There's no multiplayer, but you don't miss it. You don't need it at all. It's I don't know what else to really say. There are some big moments. There's some little moments that are made big, like this, and there's a train sequence that's incredible where you go head to head with one of the Nazi antagonists, and she doesn't know that you're BJ Blazkowicz. She doesn't know you're American. She thinks you're German, and it's intense. There's a great scene where you go to the moon. There's a whole level where you go to the moon. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. You don't. I can't say too much more about that. Just the fact that I said that you go to the moon is kind of a spoiler, but there's so much crazy crap that happens in this game. But it never loses the human drama and the emotion and the relatability that it has in spades. BJ Blazkowicz is so relatable, but all of the characters are wonderful. Anya, his love interest, is fantastic, and she's smart and strong-willed. She's a great female character. But another thing that I can say about the gameplay is that not only does it handle really well, but it's extremely flexible. It's similar. It reminded me a lot of GoldenEye 007 in that you could approach every area with stealth, and the stealth very much felt like GoldenEye. Of course, you can sneak up on people and cut their throats, which you couldn't do in GoldenEye. But when you're not being stealthy, the game plays just as well. And when you're caught, you don't have to worry about it. You're gonna be just fine. Just as long as you can hold your own in a firefight. The game gives you tons of weapons. The weapons get pretty crazy. There's one tool that they give you that's extremely useful, and towards the end it gets much more powerful. It kind of reminded me of the gravity gun from Half-Life 2, but maybe not quite as useful or creative, but it was still interesting. So that was my take on Wolfenstein: The New Order. I love this game. Go and play it because it's fantastic. It's just, I can't say enough great things about it. I'm Daniel Jones. Visit weekendpaper.blogspot.com for more stuff like this. I have another video this week about Last of Us Left Behind. Check that out too. Thanks a lot. Peace.